So happy Tuesday, yogis and yoginis. My name is Eva, and I'll be guiding you through the next 60 minutes. So this is your time to drop in, to tune in, to let go of any external distractions as best you can, and to really give yourself permission to be here, to be in this moment, just to settle on the earth in your chosen seated position, perhaps cross-legged, elevated on something to give you a little bit more length through your spine, just so you're not rounding and slouching. You might be perhaps straddling a bolster or sitting in a kneeling position, or just finding an upright seat. And as the body settles and the eyes close, you'll begin to notice that your breath also begins to settle. You might notice that you are becoming more conscious now of your breathing. Noticing the inhalation through both nostrils, chest expanding outwards as the crown lifts. Just maintain that length through the spine and just feel the softness of your exhalation. Notice how your shoulders drop back and down. Follow the breath all the way out. Notice the pause at the bottom. So witnessing your next breath in, perhaps you breathe in a little fuller, a little bit more oxygen into the lungs, expanding outwards, maybe a little more lift through your crown. And then as you soften and exhale the breath, is there something consciously that you are able to release, whether it be physical or emotional? And then just continue witnessing each breath. Noticing if you are able to let go more and more of your day, of the stirrings of the mind, of the vrittis, just to bring you to a place of stillness, peace, and balance. As you breathe, notice the softness in your jaw and your throat. And just taking that mental scan through your physical body. Keep following the breath in through both nostrils. Notice the lift, the expansion, the strength. And then as you exhale your breath, you're using that as a way to clear, to eliminate, to release. And when the next breath comes in, is there something that you'd like to consciously draw in? Not just physically through the breath, but perhaps as an intention. And then on your out breath, you might release anything that's not serving you in this moment. And then your next breath in might be a reaffirmation of that intention, or perhaps there's something else that comes through. And then as you exhale, there might be, again, something that you're conscious that is lingering that doesn't need to be here. And just allow for 5 more breaths. When you've completed your 5 rounds of breath, you'll continue breathing, but just bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Just plug your thumbs into your sternum back into your thumbs. Take an inhalation. A soft, gentle exhalation. Let's take one more of those in and out breaths through both nostrils. And on that third breath out, you have the option to create a little sound, maybe an om, breathing in to prepare. Bow your chin a little towards your chest. Just rub your hands gently together, feeling the friction of the hands, palms, fingers. And then rub the hands a little bit more vigorously. Feel the energy flowing through your body, all the way from your fingers, all the way through your wrists, arms, to your shoulders, your chest. And then we're going to place the hands over the eyes and over the face. And keep the chin bowing a little towards the chest. Just pause here for a moment. Notice what you can see, quite dark here with the palms over the eyes, but maybe you see shapes, colors, images. And then blink your eyes open and notice if you're able to see a little bit of light seeping through. And then just continue spreading your fingers a little bit more, but really softly and gently. So more and more light starts to come in. You start to notice the space around you, the colors around you, the things that might be in your space. Just look at them with a beginner's mind without attaching to what you see. And then just slowly reach the arms out wide and up, gazing up towards the ceiling as you lift. As you exhale, gently bring the hands down towards the chest, interlock your fingers as you do, press your palms down, and then draw the belly in as you inhale, reach forward. So draw the chin to the chest, just stay here for a few breaths, so you're rounding through your spine. So just keep that lean forward. You can be cross-legged or kneeling. And then on your next breath in, reach all the way. Maybe start to take a little bit of a back bend, maybe a little bit of a lateral flexion. So just notice here the movement of your spine. You might create some little circles here. So it might feel really nice just to move a little. You might come forward again, rounding. You might lift and arch. So just start to make it your own movement. If you feel to cross the legs in the opposite direction or to come into a different seated position, you're more than welcome to. And just slowly come back through center, gently release the hands behind your back, take a little interlock, press palms together, open up through the shoulders, chest as you gaze upwards, lightly to begin with. See if you can lift the crown, sternum, maybe squeeze the two shoulder blades together a little. And then here again, you've got the option to move, maybe turning chin to one shoulder, arms in the other direction. And switching, you can pause for as long as you feel you need, also on one side. So don't feel that you need to rush from one side to the other. And then we are going to meet in a tabletop position. So when you feel that occurring, find your own way there. You might need to pad up the knees with a blanket on your mat, or you might be on nice squishy carpet. And then just press the hands gently into the earth and just shift the weight around a little on your hands just to notice the stability, the strength, maybe a slight little shift forward and back, just to notice if you are centered, grounded. And then you'll find a point where you'll pause, shoulders over wrists, tops of the feet and shins press into the earth. So if you can lift the lower belly in and up, keep it drawing in, reach the right arm forward, spin your thumb to face upwards. Keep the bicep beside the ear, take a breath in. Hold on your breath out. You can either stay here or start to extend now the left leg. You can balance on your toe, or you can start to lift the leg even higher. Reaching in opposite directions, take a breath in. As you exhale, elbow and knee together, or just the elbow if you wish to keep the knee down. Just keep that moving with your breath now. The inhalation lengthens you forward. Use the exhalation to curl into a little ball. Lift the shin and heel and high if you are drawing the knee in. In breath, lift and extend. Use that out breath to curl in. Just explore 2 more on your own. Notice if you are straining behind the eyes or if there's any tension building in any other part of the body. When you complete two, release the hand down, release the knee down. Take an upward facing cat inhale, arching through the spine, tail lifts, chest lifts. And as you exhale, bend through the elbows a little and then straighten the arms as you round through the spine. So we get a little bend through the elbows as if we're diving forward and up through something, getting more into the upper part of the back. As you exhale, that bend of the elbows and then rounding through the spine. Find 3 more in breath, lifts you up into your up cat. The option is tongue to chin, lion's breath as you exhale. You might stay empty for a moment between the in breath and the out breath. Complete your 3 and then come back to neutral. Pause for a moment. Press the hands even further into the earth. Spread your fingers wide, draw your lower belly in. And then reach that left arm forward, keeping the bicep beside the ear. Stay here or extend the leg back, balancing on the toes or lifting the leg. So notice how the abdomen drawing in gives you a little bit more length, more strength. Take a breath in. Use your exhalation to draw the elbow and knee into center. So moving slowly with your breath, you might be moving through a different variation. So just know where you are. Meet yourself where you are today. Breathing in to expand and out to contract. Twice more breath in, create length, maybe a little high. Exhaling, drawing it all the way in. One more breath. Empty the breath. The knee will come down, the hand will come down. We'll take one upward facing cat, pause. As you exhale, curl your toes under, lift the knees, hover them, and then bring your chest towards your thighs. Take it into a deep little squat here, so not quite downward facing dog. So keep a nice generous bend in the knees. And then from here, inhale, come forward to plank. And then as you exhale, bend the knees generously, chest to your thighs, like you're taking a little squat. Just continue that action, building strength in the upper body. If that's too strong, pop the knees down. Stay in a puppy pose with toes curled under and just coming into plank on the knees. Let's do that a couple more times, just exploring, keeping the drishti focus on one point to keep you grounded. Come to plank, inhale. We'll lower the knees, untuck the toes, look out in front. As you exhale, hug the elbows to the rib cage, slowly lower down to the earth. On your in-breath, rise to a little cobra, low, maybe you start to evolve a little higher. As you exhale, take it down to the earth. We'll come up again, breathing in to press lightly into the hands, hugging the elbows in, shoulders back. Exhaling, taking it to the earth. Or one more time, inhale to lift, maybe a little higher than before. Exhaling to the earth. Pressing to hands and knees, inhale. Take it back to child's pose as you exhale. Taking a full deep breath in. Exhale all of the breath out. Just notice the stillness here for a moment. Breathing in, maybe a little heat in the body. Exhale the breath. One more cycle of breath. Exhale. Rise to hands and knees, inhale. Curl toes under, lift knees. Now come into a downward facing dog. Freedom to move here. Pedal out gently through your feet. Noticing the backs of the legs today, the hands as they support you. You might come into that nice deep down dog squat. And as you do that, lift your heels high if you're opting for that. And that gets you a nice stretch through your toes as well. You might want to swivel toes to one side and bend knees. There might be something that you are craving today. Tune into what your body's calling for. And we're going to take another little flow from our down dog. We'll ripple forward to a plank. Knees or straight legs. Start to find chaturanga. That's your low plank option. On your in breath, coming into a little cobra, maybe high, maybe even upward dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths here. Inhaling, feet to hip distance. Exhaling the breath out for 1. You might lift the heels, coming onto tippy toes. You might opt for a release through the mouth for 2. Explore 1 more breath. Exhale the breath 3. Don't be in a hurry to breathe in, but when that does evolve, let the movement guide you into plank. Let the exhalation guide you to your low plank, maybe knees, chest, chin. Cobra, hips are down, elbows bent, up dog, thighs are lifted, arms are straight. Use your breath out to take you back, downward dog. Again, breathing in, finding the stillness here in between the movements. Exhaling. 2 more breaths. Notice how the breath moves you a little. Just go with the flow. It's a meditation in motion. And again, rippling forward, finding your plank. Lucky last one for now. Low plank, chaturanga. Maybe suspend off the earth, flip to the tops of the feet for an upward facing dog. Maybe come back, chaturanga. Plank down dog, your choice. Maybe child's pose, 3 deep breaths, inhale. Exhaling for 1. Try to slow the breath down even if the heart is beating for 2. 1 more breath. And 3. Separate your feet mat width apart or even wider. We're going to walk our hands to our feet so we're at the back of the mat, giving the wrists a little bit of love as we release the hands from the floor to either grab a hold of a wrist or elbows. We're going to sway a little side to side, maybe shake, nod the head. So it becomes a little bit of a wider leg ragdoll, maybe some side lunges or some swinging through. Just again, intuitively feeling, moving, flowing. A few more breaths. We're going to meet in the center in a moment. When you do come to center, feel both feet rooting into the earth. We're going to release the hands behind the back and take an interlace. Press the palms together as you inhale. Draw your sternum forward, coming into a nice flat back, pulling your knuckles back. So you're coming up relatively high. And then as you exhale, a little bend in the knees as you fold forward, reaching the arms up, maybe overhead. Press feet, inhale, coming into that halfway lift position with the arms bound. As you exhale, taking a beautiful dive forward. Or 1 more time, taking that Ardha Uttanasana position. Exhaling, folding, holding here. Maybe start to straighten out the legs. Maybe heel of the hands start to come closer together. The hands might be at the lower back. You might start to lift them. Just be mindful of your shoulders. Avoid gripping the floor with your toes. Take 2 more breaths. Inhaling. Exhaling. 1 more breath. Beautiful. Release the hands to your hips. Rise all the way up with a flat back and then take a little bit of a back bend with the hands supporting you. Move a little side to side, getting into the front of the hips, the hip flexors. You might bring the heel of the hands to the buttocks or that lower back area to get a nice supported back bend. Beautiful. Slowly come back to center and roll yourself down. Notice that rolling sensation all the way to the earth. Walk yourself slowly out into plank. Bring your right knee down onto the earth. Turn your, right knee down, turn your right foot behind you, ground your left. Bring your right hand out in front a little so you can lift into a modified plank. So if the hand is too close to the knee, there's not much support, so be okay to bring it forward a little. You can stay here or start to lift a leg. You might need a little support underneath the knee. Reach the arm forward, take a breath in. As you exhale, see if you can bring your elbow and knee towards one another. So really working the obliques. Inhale to extend. Noticing the left side waist shortening as you exhale. Try to get the elbow and knee to connect up the top rather than in front. 1 more time, breathing in. As you exhale, holding it here, but breathing in for 4. Just keep breathing for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Release the foot down, release the hand down. Spin that right foot back behind you. Bring both hands under shoulders. Press your left toes into the earth. Draw your right knee into your chest.
And then take that right leg up and back, three-legged dog. As you exhale, bend the knee, yawn, open the hip. Just pause here for 3 deep breaths. Know that you can be on your left knee if you need. Dropping the right armpit down, squaring off the hips. 1 more breath. Beautiful. Extend the leg, inhale. As you exhale, step the foot towards your right thumb, lower the knee. As you inhale, reach the arms forward, up, maybe back. As you exhale, hands to either side of the front foot, lift your toes, shift your hips back. Hold here for 3 deep breaths, Ardha Hanumanasana. Breathing in and out. When you complete those 3 breaths, bend that front knee, reach the arms forward, up and back. So as you exhale the breath, place the hands down, lift your back knee, shift your hips back, lift your toes. This time the knee is lifted. Hold here in your pyramid pose. Some of us might need to place something underneath our hands here. So go ahead and bring the blocks under your hand to bring the floor closer to you if that's needed for you. Flex your toes, so we want to be on the heel here. Imagine you want to drag the heel back and then fold your forehead towards your shin, breathing in. And out for 1, for 2, and for 3. Bend that front knee, inhale. Walk the hands forward, float the left foot momentarily off the earth into a little balance. Then as you exhale, step forward, fold forward, Uttanasana. Hands to shins or fingertips to the earth or thighs, half lift, breath in. Use your exhalation to fold forward, Uttanasana. Twice more. Find the strength in the belly, shoulders back, crown long. Exhaling, forehead to the shins. 1 more full deep breath in. Exhale, full breath up. A little bend in the knees, circle the arms out wide and up. Press palms above you, maybe a little back bend. As you exhale, bring the hands down through the midline, coming back to that forward fold. Take a halfway lift in. Forward fold, exhale. Take a little bend of the knees, drop the hips, coming into Utkatasana, chair pose. Settling here for a moment, drawing that lower belly in, to lengthening the tailbone down. Taking a full breath in. Long breath out. As you inhale, straighten the legs, press palms, lift up, lean on back. And then exhale, draw all of that energy down through the midline to the earth. Use your halfway lift to find Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, step back, come back to Chaturanga, same breath out. Inhaling, finding your variation through your flow. Using your exhalation to come to downward facing dog. Taking a full deep breath in, maybe it's a child's pose. Exhaling the breath out. We've got 2 more breaths, so just find stillness, stability. Index fingers facing forward, fingers spreading wide. Maybe there's 1 more breath. We're meeting in a plank position, so bend the knees, ripple forward to your plank. And then we're lowering the left knee down, moving the left foot behind us, grounding the back heel down. As you lift that right arm, just ensure that your left hand is a little bit further forward. As we lift that leg, which is optional, you'll notice you will shift forward a little. So keeping that shoulder in line with your wrist, or even maybe your wrist slightly forward of the shoulder. Find stability, balance here, breathe in and breathe out. So we're going to reach the arm up and overhead, noticing there's a little bit of a lateral flexion here. And then as you exhale, we reverse it, we contract elbow to knee. So as you breathe in, expanding long, pressing out through the heel, reaching through fingers. Use your exhalation to bring the elbow and knee above you. Again, moving with your breath, steady through that supporting hand. Exhaling, we'll do that 1 more time, and then we're just going to hold it there with an inner smile. Elbow to knee, holding it there for 5. Keep breathing for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Release the right toes down, bring the hand down. Spin that left foot back and then lift your left knee into your chest, 3-legged plank. As you inhale, take it into 3-legged dog. As you exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Pause here for a few breaths. Try not to open the hip too far where you're shifting all the weight to the right hand. You want to drop the weight equally into both hands. Both armpits are aligned. Taking a breath in and breath out. Flexing your left toes might help a little. Beautiful. One more breath. We straighten out the leg. We look forward. So we exhale, step left foot to thumb. If it doesn't land, you bring it forward with the hand, lower the knee. As you inhale, reach the arms forward, up, maybe even back. As you exhale, hands to either side of the front foot. Shift the hips back, lift your toes. We're holding here. So just take a moment here, flexing, breathing, sensing, feeling. Breath still strong. Breath is your focus. Take 2 more breaths. Eliminating any strain behind the eyes that might start to build. Rebend that front knee, coming back into that low lunge, reaching back, Anjaneyasana. As you exhale the breath, lift the back knee, shift the hips back, grab those blocks if you need, lift your toes. You're working on straightening the front knee. You want to imagine you want to drag the heel towards the back of the mat, not so it moves, but you actually feel your left hip slightly pulling back and your right hip forward, breathing in and out. Find your Ujjayi breath, that sound in your throat. Finding that steady focus. One more breath. Beautiful. Bend the knee. Walk the hands forward. We're floating the right foot momentarily. And as you exhale, step forward, fold forward, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, inhale, Ardha. Exhale, fold. Circle the arms out wide and up, breath in. As you exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Just pause here for a moment. Close the eyes. Just take this moment of gratitude. Feeling the beating of your heart and being grateful for that. Grateful that you were able to show up and that we are alive in this time, in this body, experiencing this breath. Take a full breath in and a long breath up. Blink the eyes open, stand on your right leg, draw your left knee into your chest and just interlock the hands around the knee or the shin. And then just see if you can draw the knee in by bending your elbows, not running forward nor pulling back. So just noticing the right big toe mound pressing in. Keep your focus on one point. You might even flex your left toes for a little bit more support. And then keep your left hand on your knee, right hand on your hip, and just slowly open the knee to a point where you're not moving your right hip to the right. It stays anchored, and you're just opening as far as feels comfortable for you. And then noticing that point, you might even bring the elbow to the hip just so you can gauge where the hip is. And then from there, slide the hand down to the ankle. Maybe place the foot into the inner thigh, maybe the calf, or maybe the floor for our tree pose. So a lot of the time when we place the foot into the inner thigh, we push the hip off center. Please ensure that's not happening. You want to feel that energy squeezing that inner thigh into the foot, foot into the inner thigh, if that's where your foot is. Hands will come to your heart. Find balance, stability, and support. There might be a big, big wobble today. You just come back time and time again. Beautiful. We're going to interlace the hands, press the palms down. Try to do it slowly, keeping your focus on that one point. And then as you reach the arms forward and up, ensure you're not swaying the back, but you're sliding the ribs down to your hips. So it's just a slow, gentle lift of the arms. You'll notice the belly draws in. There's still strength. We push down to lift up. Beautiful. From here, we're going to take a lateral flexion towards the bent knee. It's towards the left. Take it really slow. Keep grounding down. Keep sensing your body, your edge. If you fall, come back in. Nice. When you're ready, we're going to meet back in the center. As we release the foot from wherever it is, we're going to interlace the hands behind us, extend the leg back, and then ground the back foot down for a warrior one position. So foot is on a 45-degree angle. We're going to lift up, lean back, inhale in Virabhadrasana 1 with the bound arms. We're going to take it to Humble Warrior, diving somewhere towards the inside of that right leg. Rise up again, come into your Humble Warrior, keeping those hands interlaced. As you exhale, folding, diving forward. We'll do that one more time, opening up through the chest. And we're going to hold Humble Warrior. So just ensure we're not spinning the hips open towards the right, so we're not looking to the left. Everything is centered. So imagining those hips are facing forward as much as possible. You might want to shake the head here to ensure that you're not holding tension. You might gaze to the space behind you, maybe to the arch of your back foot. Ensure that there is a little space between the arch and the floor. Take one more breath. Beautiful. As you free the arms, reach them forward, up, spin on the ball of your back foot. As you exhale, release the hands to the earth, step back, low plank, take a flow or skip it. Maybe you build with a three-legged if you choose. So just moving through your own variations. Know that that vinyasa is yours and yours alone. We meet in down dog or child's pose. Down dog will start to become your resting pose. That doesn't feel the case today, just come back to child's pose, but be still. And notice how the breath is the only thing that creates the movement. 2 more breaths. Ujjayi breath. Beautiful. Bend the knees or lift the heels. Inhale, look forward. As you exhale, step walk or lightly hop to the top of your mat. Take a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, take that forward fold. Bend the knees, drop the hips, inhale, come to Utkatasana. And as you exhale, take a twist to your right, zip the belly in. Rotate the heart to your thumbs. If the elbow doesn't come to the knees, bring it to the center of the knees. But just ensure your right hip pulls back, your left hip may be slightly forward. And then use your arms if you choose to expand or keep them together. Or maybe start to lift your heels and find balance. Those of you who might want to work an arm balance, just come down, spread the fingers wide, place them on the earth, somewhere that feels comfortable. And you might come into side crow. Otherwise, stay where you are for 5. Remember that we keep smiling for 4, for 3. Nice yogis, or 2. 1, bring the palms together. Let's all come to chair pose. 1 more breath there. Exhale, fold forward to Uttanasana. Take that halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. We're going to circle the arms out wide and up. And then bring all that energy with a smile to your heart. Close the eyes, plug your thumbs into your sternum into your thumbs. Notice how the collarbones broaden a little. Notice the elevated heart rate. Notice the heat and the energy. Slow the heart down by breathing slowly. Ujjayi breath, imagining that you are fogging up a mirror with your mouth closed. And as you stand here, grounded, tall, strong, and proud, find the strength in your left foot. You might want to lift the toes. We blink the eyes open, and we slowly start to draw the right knee in. So it's slow, it's conscious. And then interlace the opposite index finger on top as you draw the knee in, if that's what you were doing before. And then just stay here for a moment. Maybe one side's going to feel a little bit different than the other. And then when you feel steady, releasing the right hand to the knee, left hand to the hip, and then start to open the knee out a little, noticing the left hip is still facing forward. So there might not be a huge external rotation. And then whenever you're ready, you find where the foot wants to land. And today it might just be on the floor. It might be the calf, or it might be the thigh. Just avoid the knee joint and avoid pushing the inner thigh into the foot into the inner thigh without the inner thigh into the foot. So you want to ground down, zip everything up into the middle. Hands come to the heart as you find that stability. Plug down through your grounded big toe mound, your heel, base of the pinky. And then there's that interlock of the hands with the opposite index finger on top. So that least preferred grip. Now remember, when we start to lift the arms up, slide your ribs to your hips, draw your belly in. So the spine isn't moving, it's just the arms. Press up through your palms, root down through your feet or one foot, zip the belly in, and then whenever you're ready, slowly, slowly taking that lateral flexion to the bent knee side. So we're opening the left side body, shortening the right. Sometimes we take it a little too far here, we fall out. Just find your edge. Sometimes it feels nice to play with that point. And then whenever you're ready, see if you can control it back to center. As we release the hands again, least preferred grip behind your back, release the foot, send the foot back into a brief Virabhadrasana 2 or 3, and then we ground the back heel down for Virabhadrasana 1, which is Warrior 1. It's a shorter stance. We lift up and lean back. If you need, you toe heel the left foot out to the left. If you exhale, you dive to the inside. So back foot is on a 45-degree angle, lifting on the in-breath, so heel is rooted. Exhaling, taking it into Humble Warrior, big open shoulders here. One more breath. As you exhale, we hold in our Humble Warrior, keeping the left hip back, right hip slightly forward. You might gaze to the front foot or maybe to the back, but ensure you're not rolling into the inner arch of the back foot, so you want to press through the outer blade so you can create more and more of an arch. Take one more breath. Beautiful. As you free the arms, spin on the ball of the back foot in. As you exhale, low plank, same breath out. Try to avoid dragging your left foot on the mat. So you might lift it and take a three-legged. You might lower knees. You might take it straight to down dog and skip the flow. When you get to down dog, 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhaling for 1. For 2. And for 3. Beautiful. Bend the knees, ripple forward, come back to plank. We're going to roll onto, step the feet together, and just see if you can roll onto the outer edges of your foot. Or we'll go right side, just so I'm facing you. So we'll roll to the right. If you need, go to where we were before. We're going to work Vashisthasana today. So you want to roll and see if you can stack and lift an arm. Some of you might have the left knee down, or maybe the right foot comes out in front. Now push through that supporting hand, lift the underneath side waist, and you will notice a shorter stance will actually help. If you're too long, you don't tend to get as much support. So be okay to step the feet in, to stack and to lift. So that's your option for Vashisthasana, or here, or the knee down. Your other option might be to lift a leg. Your other option might be to pull a knee in, maybe elbow and knee. Some of you might be able to peace grip your big toe and start to extend the leg up. So there is somewhere for everyone to be. So just have a little play with Vashisthasana. Maybe a couple more breaths. Beautiful. One more breath. And then come through your low plank Chaturanga. Use your in-breath cobra or up dog. Flushing it out if you wish. Downward facing dog. Taking a full deep breath in. Exhale the breath out. Let's meet in plank. Bend knees, ripple forward. Come to plank. Step the feet together. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. So we're on the right hand unless you did the other side before. And then just find that support. And then you might bring the foot down. You might prefer the knee down. Push through that supporting hand so you're not dumping pressure down in your wrist. And then keep the hips lifted towards the ceiling. So feel the front and back body zipping into the midline. 2 hips pressing up to the ceiling. And you either stay or you lift. You might draw a knee in. You might peace grip a big toe. You might stay. Eventually, maybe you work on that balance. There's a lot of strength and flexibility going on here. Just notice where you are. When you're ready, let's find that low plank Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. We're all meeting in child's pose. You might want to make a fist, bring one hand on top of the other. You might want to rest the forehead there. You might prefer your hands behind you, giving the wrist a little bit of love after that one. That one can be quite strong on the wrists. You might want to rock, or you might wish to be still. Catch a hold of the breath. Send loving, kind thoughts to your body. Breathing in, breathing. Very slowly find center. Just gently roll yourself to a kneeling position. And bring your knees together, reach and rise, breath in. Start by curling our toes under as we exhale. Take a breath in, lift up, lean a little back. And then as you exhale, just bring your hands to your heart. Turn a little towards the right, and then just release your right hand to your heel. And then reach your left arm out to the left. And then reach the arm all the way up and around. So see if you can kind of switch. And then there'll be a point where you might sit back and kind of switch, reaching from one side to the other. You might sink, you might lift and spin around, just kind of moving the body. You might reach forward. Just start to explore, just shifting and opening and expanding and contracting. You might get a nice sensation in the toes as well as the spine. And I'm just going to see if we can find the right heel. And then see if you can lift that left arm up and back. If you need support, bring that right hand to the lower back and keep the left arm lifted. Keep the thighs pressing forward. You can use the hand if it's on the lower back to pull the buttocks down and lift the heart. Or maybe you start to reach for a heel, breathing in. And see if you can explore 2 more breaths, keeping the neck long. 1 more breath, beautiful. Switch on over, left hand to their heel or to the lower back, right arm reaches directly upright. Thighs press forward, keep reaching, keep leaning. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath, beautiful. Slowly reach both arms up, inhale. As you exhale, untuck your toes, bring your hands to your heart. Just be still. Notice the pulse in your lower back. Notice the heart as it beats. Notice your inner strength. Take 1 more breath. Slowly blink your eyes open and just slide off your heels. Extend your legs out in front. Bring your hands, keep the knees bent, bring your fingers towards your buttocks. And then just shift a little forward and back. Just moving a little here, getting into those wrists, hips to heels, hips to hands, maybe toes lift, maybe heels lift. And then press into the feet. Now squeeze the hips up towards the knees, gaze up to the ceiling or to the knees. Keep squeezing the buttocks, hips, heels, shoulders, hips, knees and shoulders are in one line. Nice, 1 more breath. Gently lower the hips to the earth. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Maybe a loose diamond or maybe it's close to the heels, close to the groin. Lift the sternum. And then take a beautiful, gentle forward fold. And then as you inhale, extend the spine out in front. Keep a long spine. Maybe use the elbows to push you a little deeper. Take in a little pulse again. Inhale. Exhaling, coming a little deeper. Close the eyes and just notice the gentle pulse as you breathe in. Exhale out. Soft and smooth. And then let those pulses take you to a complete pause. Stay and breathe in and out. There might be a slight rounding through the spine, that's okay, but just imagine you want to draw your sternum forward. Ujjayi breath will help, so that sound in your glottis as you restrict that glottis area. 1 more breath. Or slowly as you roll yourself up. So if you can bring your 2 peace fingers in between your first and second toe, wrapping your thumbs around, so you're peace gripping the big toes. And then just see if you can slide the heels back to a point where you can balance here on the buttocks or between there's that place Well, we can balance between the coccyx and the two sits bones. And then maybe you start to lift the legs a little, keeping the chest forward, playing around with that balance. You might choose to extend a leg out to the side. The leg might not straighten, it might be bent, that's okay. But just work more on the balance. Then maybe the other leg extends. Maybe both legs start to extend, even if they're bent. Draw the chest forward, that might help. Maybe play around with pointing and flexing the toes. Sometimes we feel like we're going to fall back. When that happens, maybe point the toes. If you feel you're going to fall forward, maybe pull the toes back. So we're kind of using those fingers and toes to help us balance. See if you can maybe bring the legs closer together. Maybe you point and join your forehead to your shins or somewhere thereabouts for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Bring the soles of the feet back together. Take a breath in. 1 more forward fold. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. 1 more breath. Very slowly come to Navasana. Bring the inner thighs, knees together. See if you can find that balance without holding your toes. Maybe hands are down, or maybe you bring the hands behind your thighs. Perhaps you start to straighten. So using a little strength now in the abdomen. It will help if the chest stays lifted as you breathe in and out. Steady focus. Maybe you close the eyes. Maybe that helps. Maybe the palms spinning open helps you. Beautiful. 1 more breath. Make sure the mat's behind you. See if you can just roll a little along the spine. If the spine's nice and healthy and there's no injuries, just add that little rock forward and back. And then just slowly release the soles of the feet to the earth. Bring your arms out wide for a moment. Just settle here, heel toe your feet wide, drop your knees in together. So noticing your breath once again. And just separating the feet. We're going to cross the right ankle over the thigh. If you need to bring that left foot in a little, please do. Just coming into eye of the needle. Pressing your right knee forward, flexing into your toes. Maybe keep that left foot down or start to lift. Right hand threads through that figure 4. Left hand to the outside, bring the hand behind the back of the thigh, or maybe it's to the shin. Try to rock a little bit to the left, just so the knee's in line with your shoulder rather than the left knee in line with the belly button and the chest. So that way we can use that right knee to press forward energetically, or you can physically push it if you wish. And then just settling. Maybe the chin draws a little bit more to the chest and you notice that the neck lengthens rather than jutting the chin upwards. For some of us, we try to reach for the knee and the shin, but everything's lifted. So maybe be okay to be behind the back of the thigh, or just to even have that foot down. Just taking 3 more breaths. Conscious 3 breaths. As you exhale the breath, you're drawing the left knee in and right knee forward. And when you complete, just release your hands, keep the ankle on the knee, left foot comes down. Press the hands into the earth, so you can lift your hips off the mat. So getting into that front hip a little bit of a back bend, see how that feels. And then see if you can keep your hips lifted and then extend that right leg up to the ceiling, still in a bridge, otherwise bring the hips down. And as you exhale, place that left foot down, release the hips down. As you inhale, float the hips and arms, take a little floating bridge. As you exhale, bring the hands down in line with your hips, then your hips and your hands down together. Just let that spine release, inhaling to float. Exhaling to come down. Just 1 more cycle, lifting on the in-breath. See if you can bring the hands and the hips down together.
Beautiful. Settle there for a moment. And we're going to take eye of the needle on the other side. So left ankle will cross on the right thigh. Take your time to come into your variation of this one. So you might start somewhere and then evolve. And just ensure that your right knee lines up with your right shoulder. You might want to rock gently side to side to see where that is. Flexing the left toes, right toes, pressing the left knee forward, pulling the right knee in, lengthening the neck and just breathing in and out. And then we're going to slowly release the foot to the earth, keeping the left ankle where it is. We'll release the hands beside your hips, press the palms down. You might need to walk that right foot in a little. You're going to just press the pelvis up off the earth. It doesn't have to be a huge lift, but see if you can feel some sensation in your inner left thigh, that groin area or that hip flexor. So if you can stay lifted and extend the leg up to the ceiling. Keep pressing up through the heel, pressing through the hands, lifting the hips, breathing in and out. Beautiful. As you exhale, release the foot down, release the hips down, and then gently draw your knees now into your chest with a little rock, a little massage, some movement. You'll feel what you need. Roll the head a little side to side. You can take some circles with both knees in one direction and the other direction, or even bring them wide so they're coming in opposite directions, which will get more into the hip joint. We're going to extend the legs up to the ceiling for a happy baby. You might just want to hold the legs upright. You might want to roll the ankles before you take happy baby. You might bend the knees and draw the feet down. You can be holding ankles if the feet aren't accessible, and you can rock a little. Some of you might prefer today to
4 2 2 8 8 1.
Some of you might prefer to bring the block underneath the hips and then extend the legs up, and you can take a nice supported position here with the legs lifted. So just find a variation where your legs are lifted. Some of you might come into a shoulder stand if you're practicing that and you know that you can safely come into a shoulder stand. So just please know that your body is the most important part of your practice. It's not what shape you create with your body, but that your body is the one that guides you. Just breathing in, breathing out. You might want to move around a little. You might want to be still. You might want to take your pose into something different. These are all just mere suggestions. So where do you need to be today when we're not engaging with the mind? Not trapped in the ego. When we're just flowing freely through nature, through time and space. We are in our flow. We notice that there is no effort required. We're going to slowly come out of wherever we are. There is a counter pose that you'd like to take. Some of you might wish to take a fish pose, particularly if you were in a shoulder stand. It is a really beautiful counter pose. Even if you weren't in a shoulder stand, this is fish if you wish to try that out. So your elbows hug in, the head lifts, or it's resting on the earth, just opening the front of the body. You can stay there for 3 to 5 breaths, and we're going to finish off with a twist. So if you're not opting for that, you can drop the knees over to one side and take a spinal twist, your variation of that. And extend a leg, you can catch a foot. You can cross an ankle, you can wrap toes. There's lots of variations. Choose which one calls for your attention when you are ready to land in your twist. You're going to count 5 breaths in your twist. Once you settle, count your 5 breaths. And then just take your time to transition to the opposite side. So just doing all of that on your own. Closing the eyes might help you just to settle, to feel your body. So roughly 5 breaths on each side with your twist. You can just be intuitive as you feel it. You can count those 5 breaths. And as you're ready, find your way back to center with any final adjustments, any final movements. And then we are going to find complete stillness in Shavasana. So some of you might extend your heels to the edges of your mat with your legs extended and arms wide. Some of you might wish to have a bend in the knees, particularly if you're experiencing some discomfort in the lower back. I want to lift the hips and lengthen the tailbone to the heels and then allow the knees to drop in. Just find a place where you can be still. You might have a blanket to place over the top of you, an eye pillow perhaps, to create a little darkness. So make the necessary movements so you can then be still. The challenge of Shavasana is to be still. The translation is corpse pose. So can we be free from any movement? Noticing the consciousness inside of this body. Feeling this empty vessel that the soul occupies. Let's pay attention to the shoulders, let them become heavier. Heavier arms and legs. Heavier hands and feet. The back of the head becomes heavier as the neck relaxes. And you might feel this sense of dissolving into the earth. The floor and the body become one. Spaces between your thoughts become greater. And perhaps you suspend in that place. And back to the breath time and time again. Breathing in and out. Being still. Conscious and aware. In complete physical stillness. Take 3 more conscious breaths, breathing more and more conscious awareness back into your body. Noticing if you drifted, if you were able to be still. And now you have full permission to invite movement back into your physical body. Start by wriggling the fingers and the toes. Start to stretch the arms back behind you and point your toes, extend the legs. And take a little side to side movement, noticing the side body, noticing the whole body. And then draw your knees into your chest and wrap your arms around your shins, giving yourself a big, beautiful hug. And then just take your time to roll to one side. You want to place the feet down as you roll to your favorite side. You might use a bicep as a pillow as you roll. And let it be a beautiful, slow, elegant journey into a seat. Perhaps not too dissimilar to the seat that we chose when we commenced our practice. So just coming back, closing the eyes once you find your seat. Find a mudra with your hands. Anyone that resonates with you. The most traditional is Gyan Mudra, which is the thumb and the index fingers connected. That might feel nice. You might bring one hand on top of the other, thumbs touching. Dhyan Mudra. There might be perhaps just an intuitive one that you move through, and it doesn't have to be one that you know. Just feel the connection of the hands or fingers touching. Feel the stillness, inner and outer. Bring your palms together at the center of your chest now. Another mudra, Anjali Mudra. The hands come to the center of the chest. We come back home. We recognize the divine beings inside of our physicality. We shine bright. So thank you for shining your bright light with me here this evening. My name is Eva. Namaste. So thank you all so much. Have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday. Good to see you all.